a specific topic I want to cover because
Yeah.
I have just become privy to some hyper-local drama in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
I am both
So we're going to get into
really interested and worried that I won't know anyone we're talking about.
You won't, but I'm going to give
That's
you
okay.
the cast of characters.
Okay. Give me a rundown. What's going on? What's happening in Ann Arbor? What's happening in Ann
Oh,
Arbor?
we're going to get into it now.
Oh, sure. I mean, we could. This is just the Yap session. I feel like
Okay, let me tell you this
we
story.
can talk about whatever.
Ann Arbor has an amazing library system. We've got the downtown library. That building is pretty outdated at this point.
Yeah.
They're over capacity.
Okay.
Like, they can't host, like, the events that they want to host. There's so much interest in the local library. They don't have the space.
Mhm.
They need a new library.
Yeah.
They need, like, a state-of-the-art physical space that it really, like, serves the community.
Yeah.
And caters to the community. Now, the downtown library is, like, on a portion of, like, one city block here, right?
Yeah.
And right next to it is a parking lot. Now, parking lots are a terrible use of space within cities.
Absolutely.
This parking lot's called the library lot. This parking lot is the point of some serious contention with, like, this really weird local group called the Green Library Conservancy, which sounds pro-library, but they're not. They're
What are
actually,
they?
like, a bunch of, like, uppity NIMBYs who claim that Ann Arbor doesn't have a city center, and we haven't had a city center since 1953 when the city tore down the courthouse or the city hall.
Okay, well,
And
I'm
they
sure.
claim that people, like, used to,
Yeah.
in the 50s, sit on the grass outside the city hall, and it was like this big community center. And I'm like, well, is a library nothing but a community center?
It's a
Like,
community center.
it's
It's
a
supposed to
community
be
center.
anyway.
what they want is to keep this parking lot a parking lot
Mhm.
and to turn it into, so it's an underground parking lot that goes down many, many stories.
Okay.
And the top part of it is also just a parking lot. They want
Okay.
to turn the top part of it into a park.
Okay.
And in 2018,
Yeah.
they got this proposal on the local ballot called
Uh-huh.
Proposition A.
Yeah.
And Proposition A determined that this library lot would stay a public park in perpetuity. Here's the problem. It is not a park, and it hasn't ever been a park.
Yeah.
The parking lot that was built cost $50 million to build.
Yeah.
And it was built with the intention that it has the infrastructure available within it to hold a 20-story building on top.
Okay.
So that means this parking lot, this underground parking lot, and the top of the parking lot
Mhm.
is this incredible airspace to build
Something high.
something high.
Okay.
But the NIMBYs in Ann Arbor don't want tall buildings,
Mhm.
even though many tall buildings currently exist. And
Yeah.
why they keep fighting it, I don't know, because
Yeah.
there's so many tall buildings in Ann Arbor at this point that they're going to keep happening. They're going to go up.
Mhm.
We need a new library. We also
Yeah.
need affordable housing. So
Mhm.
what the library wants to do, and this is on the ballot
Okay.
for August 5th,
Yeah.
is that the library is going to build a new library, expand the old library, which has a lot of structural issues from a
Mhm.
botched renovation in the 90s.
Mhm.
They're going to renovate or tear down or totally rebuild the library lot,
Mhm.
the library that's currently there, and they're going to expand it onto the library lot, the top of this parking lot.
Okay.
And then on top of the library, they're going to build housing. So there's going to be
Oh,
market rate housing,
Okay. Yeah.
a mix of market rate housing,
Yeah.
senior living,
Mhm.
and affordable housing.
Honestly, that's a great idea for senior living.
Yes. And the market rate housing is going to help fund, the luxury housing. It's going to
Yeah.
help fund the renovation. It's going to completely cover the renovation of the new library.
Mhm.
So there's no taxpayer cost.
Yeah.
But this organization, the Green Library Conservancy,
They
is
want a park.
fighting
Mhm.
to keep this space a park.
Mhm.
But to transform it into a park, to transform this $50 million parking garage top
Yeah.
into a park, would require so many millions of dollars of renovation,
Yeah.
and it would void the warranty with the construction company on the parking lot.
I mean, that my first thought was, yes, I want green space.
Yeah, right? That's why in 2018
Mhm.
Proposition A passed.
Yeah.
Because everyone was like, yeah, we love parks.
Of course. The thing is, when you make it a park in perpetuity, what I think they're not realizing is it's not the ground. It is the top of a giant it's the top of a skyscraper, basically.
Right.
So it would be really difficult to keep that as a park in perpetuity.
Mhm.
I think it could be turned into a park. You just can't add that caveat that it's
Yeah.
in perpetuity.
And this organization claimed when Proposition A passed in 2018 that they would fully privately fund the renovation of this park. Since then, they have not raised any of the money near close. They've raised maybe a couple tens of thousands of dollars, like $40,000 maybe, to do this renovation that would cost millions and millions of dollars. And yet, here they are. We have an opportunity to vote to build a beautiful new library, and they oppose it.
There is a way to build a library that is a green space.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
A portion of this parking lot was deliberately designed to not be able to hold a 20-story building, so that they were obligated to create a 12,000 square foot outdoor pavilion, like outdoor community public space on the library lot. Weird organization opposes all of that.
That's super interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
I understand where they're coming from in the, we don't want more buildings, we want more green space.
Yeah.
I get that. But clearly it's more complicated than that because there is already a structure built there.
The investment's been made.
The investment's already been made.
To make a building that would really serve the community.
So it would benefit the community to work with what you've already got, work with the assets you already have in place, and work all of those goals together rather than fighting each other.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So anyway, vote yes on Proposition A and B on August 5th in Ann Arbor if you live in Ann Arbor.
Even if you don't.
So that we can get a cool new library.
Even if you don't.
Sneak into the polls. Vote anyway.
The library system in Chicago is interesting because it's a big city. A lot of the people that I've talked to that have worked for Chicago Public Libraries have said a lot of the same things, in that they don't feel as though it's safe to work for Chicago Public Libraries because they have a very open door policy. And so they see the worst of the worst, which I realize is a massive ethics question.
Yeah.
Because libraries at their heart are meant to be community spaces, and they're meant to be for all of us. And so that's including people that are unhoused and in different states of mental health. That just is what it is.
I mean, that says to me that there needs to be more support staff who specialize in those needs at libraries. Those need to be full-time jobs of people. You can find a social worker at your library.
And generally there are in Chicago. There are social workers at the thing is there's not enough.
Yeah.
And it's unclear as to what they can do.
Right.
There's, especially like if somebody is violent, it's very difficult for staff to do anything about that. It's also very difficult. There's things, sexual violence has been a thing because you can't stop someone from looking up porn in the library.
Oh.
They're using the computer for whatever they want.
Yeah.
You're not there to police what they're looking at on the computer. We can put in systems to try. And in general, I am not anti-porn. Let me just say that, because there's a huge, very recent anti-porn movement right now.
Yeah.
And I think if you are an adult performer, you want to be an adult performer, that's what you're doing. Cool. I don't feel like the library is the best place to consume that, but at the same time, if you're unhoused, ethics. Ethics. There's all sorts of ethics here. And you're in a public space.
Right.
So you have to be cognizant that you're in a public space and other people who don't want to see certain things are going to see certain things.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a consent issue, I think, at the end of it. Because, you're in public, people can't consent to, glancing over and seeing there's porn on your computer. So, don't look. I don't know.
But that's the thing, is they don't really have the tools to stop people.
Right.
And I think logically, if there was a way to remotely control the computers in a way that you can shut down someone's computer and say, no, you can't, or you've been spotted looking at something that's not appropriate for the public. So there's a 10-minute cooldown. Please rethink what you're using this computer for. And in 10 minutes, the screen will turn back on and you'll be able to continue. But we would, maybe just like a message or something that gives you like a temporary cooldown.
Are there any libraries in the country that have implemented something like that?
Not that I know of. I mean, that's the thing is I'm just spitballing ideas.
Yeah.
I know there's a way to do that. I just think that the IT involved in that is not something I'm familiar with.
Well, no one who like works in IT or is a tech professional is gonna like opt to do porn control at their local library. I think
that's true.
It's just not a high demand.
And you know what? The librarians don't want to do porn control at the library either. But so the problem that I think that Chicago has is not necessarily access to the library. We've got libraries, and some of them are really nice and new. Some of them are a little older, but they've seen some updates. Some of them need a little help. But I think what I'm hearing is that they sometimes become the camp out zones for people that would find better camp out areas in homeless shelters or in mental health facilities. The library is there for you to utilize as a resource when you want it and when you need it. But it can't be your home.
Yeah.
And it also can't be a free-for-all. And it's a little bit of both right now in Chicago. From what I hear, I've been to the libraries, and it's not a chaos explosion. It's not. You can go to the library and you're fine.
Yeah.
I think that what I'm hearing from people is that it is every now and then you will run into something that they have honestly the same problems on public transport. Or what are you supposed to do when situations happen? It's difficult. We're not police officers. We're not bouncers. We're librarians. We're train operators.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do?
This for me goes back to the affordable housing crisis.
Absolutely.
Because because one of the things that happens when you're homeless is that you lose all privacy.
Yeah.
And also people who are poor are heavily surveilled in general, but a part of that is because you're in public a lot more if you don't have a home to go to. Like, we can all go hide away in our homes and have our breakdowns or like drink ourselves to death or like whatever, and it's all hidden away because we have homes that we can live in.
Speaking of privacy, this video is brought to you by NordVPN. I'm kidding. This is not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but if you want to Venmo us $10.
Yeah, but if you want to Venmo us $10. I mean, you bring up a really good point that when you become unhoused, you lose all of your privacy. That's a huge problem, which is kind of why I've never had an issue with people putting up tents on the green spaces across DuSable Lakeshore Drive. All along, there's green spaces that aren't necessarily by the lake where the parks are, but there's green spaces there's tents everywhere. And I don't have a problem with that because they're trying to find a space where they're out of the way. They're trying to find a space where they're not going to get kicked out.
Yeah.
And they're trying to maintain some level of privacy for themselves.
Yeah.
Honestly, I understand it.
And they don't want to be right next to cars
No.
or like under freeways.
Absolutely
that's
not.
Just so awful.
Or in the middle of a park.
Yeah.
They don't want to be in the middle of, people playing volleyball.
Yeah.
That's not, they're trying to get away.
Yeah.
While also still finding a space,
Yeah.
Which I get.
Yeah.
It can't be the library.
No, I mean, everyone needs housing.
Everyone needs housing.
Everyone needs housing.
Yeah.
What does the affordable housing crisis look like in Chicago? What have you heard about it recently?
I mean, so through the pandemic, I think we saw the most movement towards. We had many tech communities that were popping up in all of our parks. And I don't know if that came as a result of the pandemic or if that was spillover from pre-pandemic. I'm to understand that the policies we had in place during the pandemic that kept people housed did that. They kept people in their housing. Whether they were paying for it is a whole other conversation, or whether they should be paying
like
for it.
Like installed evictions?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm to understand that this was many other issues that came to light while the pandemic was also happening. So just even in the community that I was in, we had a massive tent community, and we made a lot of pushes at our aldermen to look for affordable housing solutions, to provide care, to provide any type of resolution so that we could just get our park back. Honestly, we had to shut down the entire park. There was just no way to operate. And we ended up installing a different alderman.
Oh, wow.
We got a different alderman. She's wonderful. And that's effectively what she did. And I think that's why she's so well loved in North Chicago, is because she said, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it the way we want as a community. I'm not going to go in and start ordering people where to go. I'm not going to kick everyone out. I'm going to do everything I can to find the resources to at least direct people where to go. And she did that. And we have our park back. And it took way longer than the other aldermen that decided to bring the police in, kick everybody out. I don't know where we're at to this day in Chicago. I know it's not great because we still see the tents everywhere. I don't know if you guys have the same sort of tent communities.
I have one tent community in Ann Arbor, and during the summer, I don't know if it's because it's a college town and that housing is so expensive there that there are a lot of like rich people who live in Ann Arbor, or if like the bus system just goes there, they take the Amtrak or what. But a lot of people, a lot of younger people, drifters, will come in from other places and spend the summer kind of in Ann Arbor. And so the population of like the local downtown homeless group really explodes. And we have the Delanis Center pretty close to downtown, which is like a shelter, and provides some services to people. But they're sort of like the core townies who are always there, and they're sort of like, okay, that person has this problem, and they're known in the community for acting like this, and so you sort of like know who those people are, what their deal is. But every summer, new people come in who are just these drifters who are just coming through to spend the summer, and have dogs, and just hang out downtown. And then I've also heard that there's like a difference between the people who stand in the meridians and the intersections outside, like further outside of town, who ask for money, and versus the people who are downtown. Like the people who are downtown tend to have like those two groups of people, I think, separate themselves for a reason. Like the downtown people, what I've read on Reddit, is that they're like the more problematic, like they've got more issues happening within that group or that community for the people who are downtown. And the people who are kind of on the outskirts of town are like homeless veterans or people who are just trying to get by. What I've heard is, what's been insinuated is like there's less drug use or less what is it, criminal history with the people who kind of are on the intersections outside of town. And that's just what I've read on Reddit, so I don't know like how accurate it is. It's not backed up by data or anything, but there is a sizable homeless population in Chicago in the summer. Sorry, in Ann Arbor in the summer.
What I was going to say is, what I've noticed is our population doesn't fluctuate massively between summer and winter in Chicago. We have the same homeless population, roughly, what it feels like. I don't have the data to support this. This is just me yapping. This is why it's called the Yap Session.
The Yap Session.
Is that it feels the same. I see just as many tents during the summer as I do in the winter. I know Chicago has warming stations. I worry more in the winter because we have had times where we've gotten into the negative 40 degrees. We have had we've had several days in a row where we've gotten that bad. So I worry more. I think everyone kind of worries more, but Chicago's so big. It's just so big. And anymore, it's all on camera.
Oh, interesting.
Which it adds this other element. Well, this element of surveillance that, I mean, even my apartment's on camera, but I do that to myself, just because I have had people show up at my apartment. And you want things from me. And sometimes it's a Jehovah's Witness, sometimes it's but sometimes it's a scammer. Sometimes it's someone trying to steal something from you. I've had people that have tried to case my apartment, that they're just trying to like see what is in your apartment, because they feel like they've got a good in on the building. And I've seen that before too, where you want some level of security. And so I've done that for myself with cameras. But at the same time, I realize that if every square inch of the city is covered in camera, we all lose our privacy. And that's even harder for people that are unhoused, because if they're always on camera, what are they supposed to do?
Everyone has bad days, and their bad days are not hidden. But we can hide away and cope with our bad days on our own. But
I can turn the cameras off.
If you're homeless, you can't.
You can't.
Everyone has to see it.
And it's also just sort of evidence, if you will. Even if they're not doing anything explicitly wrong, in our eyes morally, they may be breaking some sort of municipal codes just by existing. And so just existing in the same place as a camera, they're providing evidence to whoever wants to use it against them, just by existing. And so Chicago is not the best place to be unhoused. I don't know where there is the best place to be unhoused, to be honest.
It sounds really rough. I mean,
Poughkeepsie.
I feel like
I actually don't know. I've never been to Poughkeepsie.
I kind of feel like being unhoused, like if you had a decent car, there's someone I follow on TikTok who has a chronic health condition and posts frequently about how she manages her chronic health condition, and a part of managing that is living in her car so that she can be near her doctors, because she lives in
that's
LA.
Interesting.
And so when it came time for her to take better care of herself, she was asking for money to help buy a new car, because a new car would allow her, an electric hybrid would allow her to cook in her vehicle, to elevate her legs and rest more in her vehicle, and would just give her more privacy and also more flexibility and reliability to get where she needed to go. So I think if you were homeless, but you were able to have a decent car to live in, would that make it a little bit better if we live in a car-centric country where there is a lot of parking and you can't find a place to park your car? And
I mean, that's the thing is, I am a consumer of YouTube videos with stealth camping. I do watch those YouTube videos because I think they're charming. I think they're fun. But at the same time, the reason that I think a lot of these stealth campers are so successful is because they have the money to invest in the things that make them successful. And so it doesn't necessarily translate over to being unhoused. When I had spent some time in Hong Kong, I really liked that most of their buildings were skyscrapers. The downside of that is it is incredibly difficult to get housing in Hong Kong.
Oh, really?
It is so difficult. And there is a culture of humans that exist to live on public walkways. And a lot of the walkways are covered, but they are public walkways. You're walking through people's houses. And they make them out of cardboard. They make them out of all sorts of stuff. And honestly, there were times where I was like, I could do this. Like, that could be me. You know, but it's a lot of people that are, they're maids, they're nannies, they're housekeepers, they're lot attendants, and they work in Hong Kong, but they cannot live in Hong Kong because there just is no affordable housing. A lot of apartments that aren't affordable in Hong Kong will have a separate apartment in the back for your housekeeper, because if you can afford the apartment, you can afford a housekeeper. And if you can afford a housekeeper, it behooves you to keep that housekeeper close. You know? And housed. Because the service you're going to receive is generally better. Also, they'll be on time. You know?
If they're traveling from out of town to get to your house that's in the city so they can clean your house, they're probably going to be late.
Well, and that's why I think a lot of them live in the walkways. Is because they're close. They won't be late.
Yeah.
You know, they're worried about losing their job.
They need their job.
They want to be close, and they have a job in the city. And then, so when you go outside of the city or you go into the poorer neighborhoods, even then, the poorer neighborhoods are hard to get into. You know, they used to have a thing called Kowloon City. It doesn't exist anymore. But effectively, what it was when it was controlled by the British, there was like a little Chinese military outpost. And so even though the city itself was still very British and just whoever, mostly foreigners, um, if you were Chinese, you were able to live in this very small little enclave in the middle of Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them were not able to afford housing in Hong Kong, so they would just go stay on the military grounds. But it was a very small area of land, and so there were just so many people crammed in this small area of land that they started building their own shacks and their own things, and it turned into this massive complex of buildings. But it was all hodgepodge together, and there was very poor electricity access, very poor sewage, very poor access to water. It was almost impossible to get around. It was incredibly dangerous.
Fires would be dangerous.
Everything is dangerous there. So they, you know, eventually the city was able to demolish the entire thing because they were like, we can't just allow this to organically.
But where did all those people go?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And the thing is Hong Kong, beautiful city, but I don't know where all those people went. I couldn't tell you. And maybe they're across in Guangdong. Maybe, I don't know. I wasn't allowed to go there. They didn't want me there. Because you know, you get into mainland China and it's a whole different passport stuff. But
this is reminding me of an issue with refugees. There's a Syrian refugee settlement in Pakistan. I'm forgetting the name of, but it's become like, because the governments are not providing housing so people can actually move into the nearby cities, this refugee resettlement has become a permanent structure. And there's rules like you can't build a second story because probably a fire hazard type of issue, but people are still on their own building out their homes and making them more and more upgraded because there's no end in sight for when they're going to leave this refugee resettlement.
They want to make it nice.
And now it's a community of like 30,000 people.
Yeah.
That is like its own self-sustaining thing. But like if you don't give people other housing or help them like transition or find a place to go, they're going to build with the resources that they have in the place that they are.
Yeah. And
you can't blame them for that.
We'd all do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I got to do a lot more research about unhoused people. So
I know, me too.
So if we're just yapping. This is just
We're yapping. We're not experts. This is just based on stuff I've recently read or thought about.
But realistically, it sucks to be unhoused, and the U.S. should be allied with the Kurds.
Yeah. And if not, tell us why.
You know?
Let us know.
Yeah.
Give us some reading. Some stuff to catch up on. How do you feel about cutting off MAGA people in your life?
What do you mean by cutting them off like socially?
Yeah.
I'm
segue.
I'm mixed.
Okay.
And I know that's like, I'm in Chicago, so I'm in a little bit of a nice liberal bubble, which is very comfortable, and I really like it. So I know it's not the most, I think, comfortable thing to say to other people, but I grew up in Iowa. I grew up in rural Iowa as a gay man. There were tons of people that did not like or respect me for who I was. And I learned to live in that. And I learned that there's definitely people that it's dangerous to be around. And then there's people that are just stupid people.
Misinformed. Yeah.
They're misinformed. And, we're all stupid to some extent. And I think part of owning that we're all stupid is that we can all be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong that I don't agree with MAGA.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not going to demonize them in the same way that they might demonize others. I may cut them off a little bit.
They're not coming to my cookout.
They're not coming to the cookout. I'm not inviting them to parties or anything, but it's hard to say. I don't know. Where are you at with things?
Yes, similarly, I am it's a lot of emotional labor to bridge that gap. And
That's
so
true.
you kind of got to pick and choose your battles strategically, because we all just have to keep ourselves, functioning.
True.
And some days I do that.
Self-preservation.
Yeah, some days I do that better or more than other days. Like last night, I got into a conversation with someone I had just met, and she was more of a centrist. And it was just, I kept trying to bridge the gap, and it was really, I was so exhausted by the end of the conversation, and it wasn't really worth my time or effort, because she wasn't seeing the points that I was making at all.
It was a one-sided, you trying
Yeah.
to see it that way, not them
Yeah.
responding back in a way that was trying to see it yours.
Yeah. So I think, like, in terms of like having direct conversations about those topics, there's got to be a different way to go about it that successfully like builds the coalition and gets the working class united, as opposed to trying to talk people into seeing your point of view, because it just feels like that's kind of ineffective. So maybe we should invite them to the cookout. So we build community.
I just don't want to.
I don't want to. I don't want you to go.
And it could turn that cookout real toxic, real quick.
That's true. How else do we build community with MAGA though, and keep it like what's the method to like,
I don't know,
bring people into the struggle of the proletariat?
I mean, I'm really struggling. I will say that I have really got on lately to the phrase hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
Because especially after Trump got elected the second time, I was bombarded with people around me who thought there's no way he's getting elected again. And the only response I could say to people was hurt people hurt people. A lot of the people that I knew that were Trump voters and that were diehard Trump voters are trying to hurt people because they are hurt. They feel hurt, and they want others to feel their pain. And that's what they're actually picking up on. That's the messaging that they're picking up on. They won't tell you that. They won't say, I'm voting for him to cause pain. Some of them might. But a lot of them aren't actively saying, I'm doing it because he will cause people pain. I just want everyone to suffer. But honestly, that's what a lot of them are thinking and feeling.
Yeah.
It's that they're suffering and everyone else needs to suffer too. And maybe at the end of it, once everyone has suffered, maybe it'll get better.
Yeah.
As a hurt person, I kind of get it. I kind of get it. I get why you would get behind someone that you know is going to inflict some pain. And maybe that pain isn't towards individuals. Maybe you want that pain to be inflicted towards the government. Maybe you want that pain inflicted towards institutions. Maybe you want that pain inflicted towards academia.
Yeah. The elite.
The elite. But whatever you think about it, you know he's going to inflict pain on others. And it's generally the people you want him to inflict pain on. And that's kind of where it's coming from, in my belief. I believe that that's, whether or not Trump voters and MAGA in general are articulating that, I do feel that that's where it's coming from.
I would agree that that's a subconscious psychological motivation that they might not be realizing is happening, or maybe to an extent they do, but like, I don't know if they could say that out loud, and acknowledge that reality. But I mean, I agree with you, and I think it boils down to a distrust of like the capitalism, the money that's running everything, and like that's the kernel of truth in it all.
Yeah.
I
think it's wild that when you boil it down, there are some common themes. One of them is a distrust of the government.
Yeah.
All of us have this, like, these it's people that have a trust in the government tend to be very centrist, or they tend to be like old school Republicans. And people that don't tend to be very liberal or MAGA, ultra conservative, where for some reason these two directly opposed things actually share a commonality that they don't trust the government. That's hard to work with.
Yeah, it is.
How do you be a government and help two factions of people that don't trust the government but don't trust it in different ways?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
And that's the thing is, I love crypto. I have loved it for a really long time, and that's an unusual thing for a very liberal person. It tends to be in more conservative circles, but it comes from a mistrust of the government's regulation of our money and control of our money and the banking system, and mistrust of the banking system, mistrust of the Fed, mistrust of how the US has used its money to control the rest of the world. There are elements of that that very liberal people agree with, that go, yeah, I see that. So it's not that crypto itself is a conservative thing, it's just how you're using it can be a political mess. One of the interesting things is the crypto industry was not necessarily outright positive Trump. A lot of the larger crypto firms did not say whether or not they supported Trump or Kamala, and a lot of them kept saying that they hoped Kamala would come over a little bit. I was actually really proud of the crypto industry in the last election, because Trump was really trying to be like the crypto president.
Right.
And so many like crypto YouTubers, so many people were like, yeah, Kamala hasn't said anything yet, and it would be really nice if Kamala said something. And it was just like, oh. But it is so easy to fall into that us versus them type of mentality. And it's also really easy to look at people that you really disagree with and go, that's an idiot.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's an idiot.
If the shoe fits.
The shoe fits.
If the shoe fits, then you're saying dumb stuff to me.
Yeah. There is this saying that I really like, and I don't know who said it. I'm going to say Cher. I think it was Cher. That said, in a world that capitalizes on your pain and fear, the last punk rock thing to do is show kindness and compassion, because the world hates kindness and compassion, hates it. And I've only found that to be true the older I get.
Sometimes people are dumb, and that's annoying. And also, how do we meet them where they're at? I don't know.
I don't know either. I think I used to have a hard time with where's the common ground. And now I know where the common ground is. I know it's a distrust of government, it's a distrust of institutions. I know it's feeling hurt. It's feeling like kind of the same way I think that we're all on, where the future might not be better. I think is a very recent development. I think that's a very recent thing, especially for like the boomer generation, where, there was this element, I think when they were younger, of it could all end tomorrow. So what's the problem with borrowing against the future generations? What's the problem with maxing out the debt? Because like there might not be a tomorrow where we could all die in a nuclear holocaust. And then as they got older, it was like, well, the economy just kept getting better, and we found this way for for capitalism to just infinite growth model, and here's how the stock market's going to work, and there's going to be ups and downs, but as long as you do X, Y, and Z, you'll get retirement. It'll be great. We got Social Security. There was always this blue sky coming up ahead. I think for the first time, we're starting to see that might not be true. I think there might be gray skies ahead. I think there could, I think we're all on the same page that things could get worse.
Do older people often ask you what your purpose is?
No.
It happens to me a lot.
Really?
More and more recently.
You know what old people ask me?
What do they ask you?
The fuck kind of name is that? That's what old people ask me. So what are they asking you about? Your purpose?
Yeah. I've had like multiple people be like, what's your driving force? Like, what's your purpose? And I'm like, I'm here for a good time. Because I don't have a lot of, like, there's things I want and I have goals.
Yeah.
And there's a certain type of future I want for myself. And I also figure, like, I may as well raise hell while I'm here to fight for the change that I want. Because it's not guaranteed, and it's not going to happen any faster if I sit out.
And so many people don't realize that.
Yeah.
They don't participate.
Yeah. And I participate partly because, like, I sort of have the time and energy right now in grad school to participate,
Mm-hmm.
and I just sort of don't care anymore if I'm a menace. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's better with
To
bubbles.
the system. Yeah.
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 It's better with bubbles.
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable with apartment living. I don't actually need like a lot of space, but I'm also fearful because I'm gonna be honest, I'm a crazy person.
You've got a side to you.
I'm a crazy person, and so when I'm allowed to have a lot of space, I will fill it with the most ridiculous objects or make the craziest efforts in my life.
Is that an antelope?
It's called a kudu.
There's a kudu. So there's a
giant
kudu.
kudu.
A kudu statue. It's a taxidermied kudu head.
It takes up like a fourth of my apartment.
On Starscream's wall, it sticks out like 5 feet from the wall.
Which is why I need to stay in a studio.
Yeah.
I have to be careful with my living arrangements because I will do crazy shit.
You're a collector.
Not
Strange
even
and intricate objects.
And I will throw ridiculous parties. I will do ridiculous things if I just feel like. At one time, I got a 5-gallon tub of cherry pie filling and a kids' swimming pool.
Oh.
And I
what?
hung on to both of those things with the dream that at some point I was going to have cherry pie wrestling or something. I didn't even fully conceptualize what for a year plus.
Wow.
Just had it. Had it in my apartment.
Go rotten? Did it?
So they have lots of preservatives.
Oh, okay.
And also I was a little afraid because it did kind of stain the skin a little red. So I was like, cherry pie wrestling wasn't maybe going to be the best use of it.
Sure.
But it was just I thought at some point we were absolutely doing cherry pie filling wrestling and that I was going to be covered in the cherry pie filling wrestling somebody in this kid's play tub.
Yeah.
And it never happened.
We all have goals for ourselves.
And so I have to be careful. I can't just live in a spacious place unless someone else is there and is stopping me.
Okay. It's good to know what you need in a living situation.
I'm a force of nature. I have to be stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't just be left to my own devices.
Yeah. I haven't lived alone in so long that I don't know what I would do if I was left to my own devices.
Oh.
I think I just hung out in my own apartment a lot when I lived
Yeah.
alone. I just hula hooped, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you also had space to hula hoop. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But now I live with 11 people and I can't get away with anything.
Yeah.
Everyone knows everything.
Yeah. That is the downside. I do kind of miss having roommates because there is a social benefit to it. I do kind of like that there would just like be random hangouts or I could talk them into something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That was always so much fun, being able to talk my friends into the crazy shit because rarely would they indulge me. Rarely. But when they did, I was in heaven. So much fun. I remember one time I convinced my roommates to let me build a giant like cardboard wall system in our living room and then have a fire in it.
Oh, wait. That sounds dangerous.
It was bad. It was bad. It was a bad idea. It was just a bad idea. Could have killed us all.
Yeah, it could have.
It didn't.
Well,
but
now you live alone with your kudu.
And that's best.
Yeah, and we're in our mid-30s.
For now.
Things are calming down.
Yeah, now I think my craziness is more geared towards skill-based learning.
That's a good way to channel it.
Yeah. That's kind of what I thought. I'm more interested in that's kind of why I'm doing the Yapping podcast type of thing. It's more of a better way for me to channel the craziness than to buy cherry pie filling.
Yeah. I also had to learn to channel my craziness as I got older.
Yeah.
Because it just resulted in very self-destructive, now I'm in a weird situation. I don't know how I got here type of things. And now I have to learn to channel it into other stuff.
How are you
chill out a little?
What kind of constructive things are you able to channel it into? Whoa!
Local activism,
Yeah.
I guess grad school to
You
an
know what?
extent.
That's what the bubbles is.
That's what the bubbles is.
That's what the bubbles
That's
is.
my version of the kudu.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You gotta channel the crazy.
Yeah.
Don't get rid of the crazy.
No, don't get rid of it.
Don't get rid of the
Get rid
crazy.
of it.
No,
I stopped
you-
taking my medication. My mood
Oh.
stabilizer medication.
Oh yeah.
I quit in December, actually.
On purpose.
Cold turkey. It just wasn't. It just didn't feel like it was working anymore.
Yeah.
Now I feel great.
You know what? I mean, that's great. I have one experience with that. I wasn't on any, but my partner was at one point, and so he decided to quit cold turkey, and he never noticed a difference.
Yeah.
I did. I lived with him, and I noticed a difference.
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I was like, "Wow, it got way worse." But like he didn't notice anything different. He was like, of course I'm just gonna quit cold turkey. I had no idea.
Yeah. I probably should have talked to my psychiatrist about it, but I just couldn't be bothered.
Listen, I don't even tell my psychiatrist where I live or what my real name is. So
She doesn't know anything about me.
I don't know. My psychiatrist's out there still looking for me. He ain't gonna find me either. No, I'm Starscream now.
I'm still Hannah.
That's the name change and the moving cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all try and reinvent ourselves.
Yeah, but always in a small apartment.
Mm-hmm. Or with 11 other people
Yeah.
who are constantly monitoring what you do.
Monitoring for changes.
You know what? We have a chore calendar,
Yep.
and I was supposed to clean my house bathrooms this weekend, and I'm supposed to complete the task by 7 p.m. on Sunday, but I am not in Michigan. I am in Chicago.
It's 4:30.
It's 4:30, and
Do you have like a little timer
So
that's
I'm gonna
like
get-
ticking down with a little toilet under it?
I'm gonna get fined $10 for
$10.
not doing the chore.
Yeah, you just Venmo the $10. Thanks for cleaning the
I
bathroom.
have to pay it when I pay my rent at the end of the month.
Aww.
And then, but the money just goes back to the house.
Yeah.
To help make sure the house like sustains itself.
Yeah.
So I don't hate the chore fine, but
Yeah.
it is annoying if I have to pay $10 every month because I messed up my chore.
I always used to not hate paying my taxes because I felt that way. I
Mhm.
used to feel like my taxes were going towards,
I still have to file mine.
Oh shit.
Well, I filed an extension,
Oh, okay, then so you still got some.
so I'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
And I don't think I owe anything because I'm a student.
Oh, I did. Fucking owed a lot.
God, what the fuck?
I don't know. It keeps getting worse every year.
Yeah, that's.
But I'm told that it's because I keep making more money every year, and so as a result, you pay more taxes every
Whatever.
year. But
That sounds fake.
yeah, I mean, I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, I don't know if I completely believe all of my taxes are going towards the things I enjoy. Like,
Mhm.
sure, Social Security, like I'm still paying that, but we're probably not going to see that.
Have you ever checked your Social Security on the Social Security Administration's website?
No.
You can create an account and log in and look at the amount of Social Security money you put in so far over your lifetime, and then
Oh,
see what your trajectory is for retirement.
that's kind
Isn't
of cool, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting and kind of weird.
That almost feels
It's like
like
a bank account you didn't know you had.
I mean, to me, that almost seems like someone would be like, "Hey, let's go to the local Kmart. Kmart's still open. It's right there. Do you
Yeah.
want to go see what's in Kmart?" And then you go to Kmart and you're like, "I thought this
didn't exist.
didn't exist anymore." But like, there's a bunch of like Joe Boxer stuff over here, and
Yeah.
like, I don't.
No, they have a whole website.
I mean, I don't
You just
know
have
if
to
that's
make an
going to do
account.
anything positive for my mental health.
No, it's depressing to look at. I
'Cause,
don't have
yeah.
very much money in it, apparently. I don't
Oh.
know. I don't really understand how Social Security works.
Well, they don't take a lot of your check.
Yeah.
They just take a little bit.
Yeah.
So I understand that. At the same time, I just have always been told we're never going to see it because it'll be long dead. They're already talking about right now
I
getting
think-
rid of Social
I
Security.
think they keep saying that, though, because they want that to be a reality, but it's not an inevitability.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there is a
They-
way to fix it.
They want us to believe that it can't work and won't
Yeah.
work, but actually, I think
Mhm.
that that's just like fake news, basically.
I kind of agree.
They're just saying that to justify the bill that they're trying to pass.
Yeah, I think the bigger issue is the debt.
Yeah.
the national debt. I think that's, but also I feel a little bit that way about the national debt in that a lot of the national
Does that
debt,
exist?
yeah, is us borrowing against ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we borrowed it from ourselves. So
This
I don't
is just
know.
a made up concept.
I mean, yeah, have you seen that meme that's like, it's a woman and she goes, sometimes I walk into a room full of men and say, why can't we just print more money just to feel alive?
Yeah.
And it was like, I feel that, you know, where
I
it's
feel
like,
that way
man,
about our government.
it's kind of what we
and
do,
our
isn't
national
it?
debt. Someone explain it to us in the comments. Like, explain to us like you're a finance bro at a
Yeah.
cookout that we didn't mean to invite you to.
We didn't mean to invite you to, but
just,
now
like,
you're here.
You
and,
tagged along with someone else, and we're kind of pissed about it.
yeah.
Explain it to us in the comments like you're that guy at a cookout.
What are you going for at the cookout? What are you eating?
I'm eating the elote.
Oh yeah, I love a good elote.
And I'm
oh
eating
my
the
god.
guac, and I'm eating lemonade, the basil lemonade.
Oh, that sounds
Drinking
good.
basil
Yeah,
lemonade.
that sounds fantastic.
I might spike it.
I am not eating anything that's like potato salad.
Potatoes give me heartburn. Do
Really?
they give you heartburn?
No,
That's
but
okay.
I will be honest. I'm a little potato resistant, which is kind of crazy. Everyone loves potatoes, and I like fries. I like potatoes. I think they taste good. They don't make me feel good.
No. Is
Yeah.
it heartburn?
I don't know.
Are you in denial about your
Well,
potato heartburn?
I don't feel like it's like up here.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's more in like a, you know how like you eat a big meal and then you like are not sentient. Yeah, I mean we're sentient after we eat a big meal, but like sedentary.
Yeah.
You know how it kind of makes you feel maybe a little ooky? It makes me feel ooky when I'm eating a lot and then I just sit.
Yes. You got to go for a walk afterwards.
Yeah, I feel that way with potatoes a lot more often than I do.
I feel like it seems to me, it almost feels like I don't chew them enough, and I swallow them, and then it burns in my chest. But I swear I chew potatoes the whole way. I promise.
Amos is in the corner.
I'm fully chewing my bite of potato salad, and I
eating
still get
whole
heartburn.
potatoes. Sticking whole potatoes
Whole
in.
potatoes.
Yeah. I mostly I just want to stay away from everything that's like mayonnaise based.
Oh, sure.
You know?
Sure. I understand that.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You don't know how long it's been in the sun. You don't know.
That's true.
Also, there's like specific humans that like if I just kind of look at them and I'm like, no, I'm not eating anything that came out of your kitchen. Like I can already tell you smell like cat pee.
Sure.
You look like cat pee.
Yeah.
You sound like cat pee.
Yeah.
I'm not eating your potato salad.
No.
Like, ugh.
No.
Or egg salad. That
I
one.
know about deviled eggs.
Complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to like them, but they feel really weird to eat at dinner parties.
They do. You know what? One of the scariest, the most disgusted I've ever been was I used to work with this guy that did not bring anything for food except whole boiled eggs. And he wouldn't just like eat them like a normal person. He would go, and I remember watching him eat it and being like, why does that disgust me? Because I love eggs. But for some reason, the way he was eating them has made me a little weird towards a boiled egg.
I feel like boiled eggs is very American.
It hurt me.
I went to Mexico with my mom in May.
Mm-hmm.
And my poor mom, like every restaurant she went into, she was like, I just want a boiled egg. Like she was like in boiled egg.
I mean, eggs are good.
She was in a hard boiled egg withdrawal, and so she kept
funny.
asking places if they could make her a boiled egg, and every place was like, no, but we can do a poached egg. She was like, okay,
Yeah, close enough.
She got poached eggs instead. But
I also have a funny egg story in Mexico. I was there and eating breakfast with this boy that I was seeing in Mexico, and he was learning English. And we had all these fruit spreads, right, at the table, or what I thought. Mm-hmm. And so I picked up this one and I go, what is this? And he goes, fruit. And I was like, okay. So then I get breakfast and there's some toast with it, and I grab the fruit spread and I spread it all over, and I'm like, fruit spread! And it just smells like jelly. It was habanero jelly. And it burnt the shit out of my mouth.
Yeah.
It hurt. I didn't realize that. Like, I was like, oh! It took like a minute. It was really hot. And I guess there's maybe some sort of lost in translation between like fruit and pepper or something that he...
No,
maybe, I don't know. There's some sort of lost in translation where he didn't really understand what... He knew what it was, and he was trying to communicate it to me.
Yeah.
But he was trying to communicate it to me in English and didn't really get the translation. And the thing that I really felt bad for was I got these like really heavily egged chilaquiles, and the woman that made them was the one who was serving us. And I wasn't eating much of it because it was really hot. And I just burnt the shit out of my mouth. And so I wasn't really eating much of it, and she was offended. She was like, oh, and I was like, no, I really like it. I hurt my mouth. And she was like, oh, and I was like, can I get a box and take it? And she was like, no, you just throw it away.
You
like,
lost your chance.
Yeah, she was like, just throw it away. I was like, no, really, it's okay. I really like it. And she was like, no, just throw it in the garbage. Just kill me. Take me out back and shoot me. And I was just like, no. It was really sad.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate cultural miscommunication.
So, lady, if you're out there, I liked that chilaquiles. I really did. I wasn't kidding. I just hurt my mouth. Yeah.
I'm glad your mouth has recovered.
Yeah, I mean, it's why I yap.
And that has been the Yapping podcast.
Yeah. I feel like a good yap never starts in the same place that it ends. And I don't remember what we started talking about.
Libraries.
Local
library drama.
And we ended up with eggs in Mexico.
Those two things are wildly different.
Yeah, wildly different. So I feel like it's a good yap session.
It was a good
Awesome.
yap session.
Thank
you for having me.
Yeah, Hannah, thanks for joining me for a good yap session. We'll see you later. If you are interested in following Hannah, Hannah's on
TikTok at Hulahoopinghannah.
And YouTube as?
At Hulahoopinghannah, but that's just hula hooping. But also Go Hannah for transit urbanism stuff.
Yeah, for go type stuff. And as always, I'm Starscream. Thanks for joining us for the Yap session.
Bye!
You know what's funny is I like the idea of doing like a bye, but not a hi. I'm not going to say hello, but I'm going to be like, bye!
Yes.
Yeah.
It rounds it out nicely.
Yeah, how did you feel? I don't know how to make that, and I don't know how much editing I'm going to be able to do to like make that a cohesive thing.
Yeah, I would say just put it up as it is.
As I'm thinking about it, I like the format of doing like fun video yap session.
Mm-hmm.
Fun video yap session, because I think there's some people that will appreciate a yap session and some people that won't.
Yeah.
And then they can just watch the whole
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, don't have it be one video. Have it be two separate podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree. I have to be so bad.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm stuck.